I want you to work on getting to know who you are because one of the challenges that we have as humans, both in our personal life and in business, is really outlining who we are as far as our values and our principles. And that's slowing us down. And as I'm writing tonight, as I'm finishing up and winding down, I've got a quote in my brain. And I read this earlier on. I don't know where I read it from, but it's by Charlie Munger. And he says, or he said, he passed away a year ago, you have to have your own iron prescription of what you will and won't do. To me, that speaks volumes because many times we find ourselves overthinking certain situations because we aren't clear as to how we should respond because we haven't taken the time to get to know ourselves. And this last week, I got to interview Margaret Andrews, a Harvard professor, and she laid down from her book. She's got a book called Manage Yourself to Lead Others, just came out a month ago. Interviewed her on Friday, and one question kept on coming up in my head. She had a list of 6 questions to get to know yourself better. And for me, the number one question was, what values are most important to you and where did they come from? Because the key to everything, as I'm writing this down, the key to everything that you've been wanting, everything that you know that you should have gone for it. You should have done it. Like so much regret, right? Everything that is so close to happening for you revolves around you acting quicker, you acting according to who you are, you outlining your principles and showing up like you need to, like you know who you are. But how many times do you go through the day, you do something, you say something, and what happens? You're like, "Oh, I should have said it differently." Ah, but what if I took the chance? What if I said this? What if I showed up differently? You see, I don't want you to have that regret over and over. And so in writing my notes and in writing it down here and going through different situations throughout the day, I have 3 things for you that I want you to remember in trying to find those values for yourself, trying to discover the principles. Like Charlie Munger is saying, what does he say? You have to have your own iron prescription of what you will and won't do. Here they are. Number one, reflect on peak and pain moments. It's all about growth. It's all about reflecting through those growth lessons. You had some hard times today? You had a hard time this week? Did you take time to reflect? Did you take time to look back and say, what could I have done better? Wait a second. Why did I get angry at that moment? What is that telling me about myself? Why did I feel sad? Why did I feel happy? Why do I value that? And for me, it was maybe 2019 when I finished reading. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, where he said, or he wrote in his book, that he would write down and grade the days. And as he graded the days and put them all together, I know because I tried this, I'm just not remembering if that was Jim Collins or not. He graded the days and then he would say, why did I grade it high? Why did I grade it low? And when you reflect back and take a look at those answers, why is it low? Why is it high? You understand what you value in your day. You're like, oh, I value being with my family a lot. Interesting. I value reading. I value creating. I value showing up better for the people that I'm serving. Interesting. See, you have to take time to work on yourself to show up better. And that's the part that we're missing because, like I said yesterday, in my winding down moment yesterday, we're so bombarded by everything. Like, look at social, look at the media, look at AI, just information overload. We're heading into a world, like I told you yesterday, a world that is more about it not being social media, attention media, it's connection media. It's all about connection. So reflect on peak and pain moments, right? Find out why. Number 2, notice what you admire in others. I did this exercise in 2021, I think it was, some not too long ago, 4 years ago. I realized when I was going through different situations, I would always look at people and say, man, I wish I was like that. Man, I wish I had that. I was really gravitating to the envious piece, right? Almost to jealousy. And as I noticed what I admired in those people, thanks to a conversation with Mel Robbins, I realized, wait a second, I can use this to my ability because I admire those people. I admire the things that they've achieved. And those things are important to me. Let me write that down. You see how everything comes back to writing down? I need you to start journaling. So please journal every day. Oh, my tabs fell out. I need you to write things down so that you get to know yourself better. Slow down. Why are you in a rush? Slow down to get to know yourself. Notice what you admire in others. Write this down. All right. Last one, number 3. And I think that was, yeah, it's the last one on my notes, number 3. To find what you stand for. It goes back to that question that Margaret Andrews asks in chapter 3 in her book, Manage Yourself to Lead Others. What's that question? What values are most important to you? What values are most important to you and where did they come from? Write them down because that'll tell you a lot more as to why. See all these questions you have to ask yourself, the better quality of questions you're asking yourself, the better outcomes, the more you get to know yourself, the better you show up. To find what you stand for. Define it. Ask yourself, what would I defend if it cost me something? Because there's always a sacrifice to something, right? You're going to choose, like, do I go path A? Do I go path B? And if I go path A, that means I can't do this over here. Is it okay that I'm not doing this over here? What do I value about this more that it's pulling me this way, right? It tells you more about your beliefs. And so this is what I can't answer for you. I'm trying to answer it for myself, and I'm going back and reflecting as often as I can to better understand myself because I've got all of these different influences from many years from different people, but where they all came from. And look at the bottom, and I'll leave you with this. It says outline and review what you stand for so it's clear. Outline and review what you stand for so it's clear. I would add one thing to my own notes. It'll allow you to move so much faster in your life. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Have a good night.